blinking.
Now, okay.
Now you got it.
All right. Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Leonard.
Here.
Commissioner Duran.
Here.
Commissioner Bacon.
Here.
And Vice Chair Metcalf.
Present.
And for the record, Commissioner Bolin and Commissioner Halby are out of town. And then, so we'll, for the record, we'll show that. They're dismissed. Not dismissed, or not dismissed. What do you call it? Excused.
Training.
That's right.
They're training.
That's right. Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Approval of the minutes of March 8th, 2023.
I'll motion to approve minutes March 8th, 2023.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed. New business. Cool PZ 22-1242, a conditional use permit request by Andrew Eckmark of Coolidge Properties LLC for a manufactured home in the multifamily R3 residential zone district within the manufactured home overlay zone, as located on the corner lot of 393 West Lincoln Avenue, Coolidge, Arizona. Application number 205-15-0430. Director Lopez.
Mr. Vice Chair, Commissioners, this is an application we've had these before, where the mobile home overlay applies over certain parts of the city to encourage infill. And in this case, this property is located in that mobile home overlay zone. And there are some conditions to put the unit in. It needs to be no older than 3 years old, has to be ground set, double wide. So there's some standards that are into the recommendations that are to this property. But it meets all the criteria, and I think, Bill, if you have anything you want to go through,
yeah, just to
show some of the criteria and the zoning.
Yeah, can you hear me okay? Just a brief presentation here. Here is the manufactured home location showing the site area fronting generally onto Lincoln Avenue. Our next map is our land use designation. You can see it's located within the urban neighborhood, adjacent to the downtown core designation for land uses on the general plan exhibit. Our zoning exhibit, of course, shows it within the R3 area, and all the hatching area in the same direction is referencing the overlay district talking about, that we have done these before. And specifically to the site, we got a couple of photographs from the street. The top photograph, as it says, is site looking generally south from Lincoln Avenue toward the site in front of you, towards 4th Street. And then the photograph down on the lower right is basically the same photograph looking back the opposite way at the far end beyond the alley there, generally described as northeast from 4th Street toward the site. And Lincoln Avenue, you can see the alley right there, along with some overhead utilities right there. And if I can get the clicker here, the applicant has provided a floor plan and elevations here to give us a general idea of what they would propose for this location. Obviously, this will be closely reviewed, not just through planning, but also building department as well, too. And also to meet the criteria that Gilbert just delineated, which is mentioned in the report, and also the resolution that goes with this conditional use permit tonight. And here is the example of the elevations. These are all in your gentleman's packet. And then the last thing that we have here is same thing. It always looks better on the computer screen than on the overhead. But basically, it's just to show what the overall proposal is, how it would be situated within the lot. It's a fairly deep lot with enough width even as a corner lot. Photograph here kind of overlay to show how it would look in conjunction with the plot plan. These two lots here, I believe, are what's our friend here? Right, but I think they're being built upon by
The two lots are vacant, and there's a house being built next to that. I was just out there to the property, and then there's some others across the street. and some next to the boulevard. So there's like about 5 houses, brand new houses being built in the proximate area. So it's really, there's a lot of activity going. That's really
Right.
good. And for infill, and vacant lots have been there vacant for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's looking nice out there.
And then also the part of the installation will require a couple trees and a few shrubs in front, and 1 tree and then 3 shrubs in the front. It's part of the installation, the driveway. So that's in there. Pretty normal for any new house that we do that for all of them.
So anyway, that's the general information we have. The applicant is present. If the commission would have questions of him at this time. Andrew, if he's right there.
Go to the mic.
Go ahead and go to the microphone, and then you can push the button on it.
Name and address.
My name's Andrew Eckmark, and I reside in Phoenix, Arizona at 4600 North 24th Street. Yeah, it's up right next to the Biltmore area.
We'll make sure the mic's on so that it picks you up on the recording because it's being recorded. Is it on?
Thing. 1. Testing.
There you go. You just got to get real close.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Yeah, it must be in the back.
Yeah, Andrew Eckmark,
Hey, sir.
Phoenix, Arizona, 4600 North 24th Street, apartment number 437.
Okay.
Mr. Vice Chair,
Yes.
to Mr. Lopez's comments, there's a lot of new builds going on, but, and I'll use the term traditional lightly here. They're all traditional builds. Why are you proposing modular home as opposed to traditional build?
Yeah, so this most certainly, and we'd be happy to provide kind of photos of what our homes look like. This is not a kind of essentially a mobile home or a trailer that you would think of. It's a Cavco 3-bed family home. It's a front-facing, porch-facing model. It's got a nice. It's a very, very high-end home type. It's most certainly not one of an older homes or trailers, and it's just actually built this last January. So it's completely brand new. Hasn't set foot on a foundation or something since.
Okay, I appreciate that answer, but that's pre-manufactured versus traditional, which is what's gone on in the neighborhood. So why pre-manufactured as opposed to 2x4 or 2x6 construction on a corner?
Because pre-manufactured is quite a bit faster to actually, once you've kind of decided you have the home, you have the lot, you can put it up a lot faster than a traditional site-built home. So that's the reason we're engaging in it.
And the pricing point?
The price point is very, very similar.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were to buy this home at retail price from Cavco, you can look them up online yourself as well. That 3-bed, 2-bath costs, without wholesale pricing, like a $200,000 price point, without the setup, without the lot, and everything. So it's a very, very high quality home. We upgraded almost every feature in the home. We just got a discount on it as well because we're doing about 100 of them in another location in the country once this is set up and built.
Mr. Vice Chair, quick question on the exhibit. And you've got ground set, 200 amp ALC tie down. What's green board skirt?
Greenboard skirting is
that
an approved type. You can use some wooden material that's been pressure treated to resist rot. And so I used to be a mobile home inspector for the Pinal County back in the day, and so they used to use corrugated metal that was tarred, had tar on it, but that didn't. They did away with that, so now you can use block. You can use pressure treated lumber. It's like the baseboard on a house when it touches the concrete. It's a pressure treated wood, and then the rest of it's a regular 2x4.
Yeah,
So
where's it
that.
going? I guess that's my question.
Oh, it holds back. It holds back the when it's ground set. You dig it out and you put the green board on the side, and you fill it back in, and it keeps the dirt from going underneath the house. Basically, that's. But they usually do a block foundation, and then they can strap it down to the block, and that's a really good. You still have piers, but it's almost like a regular house because it's strapped down with shear straps And we used to do these in Glendale for infill, and he's right. You know, you can order them anywhere you want. You can order them with 2x6 construction and the walls. You can order them with all copper piping. You just pay for it. You can order pretty much to build it how you want it. Pretty nice. Hope that helps answer.
It does. I
Probably
don't
more
know
than
that
you
it
want.
addresses my overall concern here. I'm going to
Yeah,
set
yeah,
probably
no.
another precedent here, but in any event, I appreciate answering the question.
What the reason they use the green board is to keep anything, no termites.
Oh yeah, no, I get that part. It was kind of hanging out there on the description, and
Yeah.
it was just one thing. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Any other questions for Mr. Eckmark? Okay,
Well, thank you.
thank you.
I have a question, just to clarify for the record. You have this listed as two different items, number 221242 and 230209. It was introduced as 221242.
Yeah.
So which one
We
is it?
apologize. It
Yeah.
should be 230209.
Okay.
Because the first number is the year. So apparently, I think Phil grabbed and I've done it too. You grab
Yeah.
one and you fill in, change the words and everything.
It's the correct number on the advertised. Yeah, on the report and on the advertised and put on the website.
So it's 230209, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it
that's
is.
the correct number.
Yeah,
We
it's
apologize
just
for
it's
that.
just on the commissioner's minutes. So sorry about that.
Thank you for that because it was read.
Okay, so I'll change my introduction to it.
Yes.
Yeah, changed it down.
Okay, this is a public hearing. So I'm going to open the meeting to a public hearing. If there's anyone that would like to speak to this Cool PZ 230209 conditional use permit, step to the mic. Nobody here.
It's okay here.
I'm going to close the public hearing. Any other questions before we vote? Could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Cool PZ 230209 and Resolution 2305.
Motion's been made. Second?
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Mr. Vice Chair, very quickly, I promise I will not always be the thorn in your side. I appreciate the project and what it's trying to do, but as I mentioned earlier, all the other homes that are being built, traditional stick and mortar, and particularly its location, I just think it would be better served if we were looking at that as opposed to what's being offered. But I appreciate what the applicant's done. That's a respectful note. How's that?
Okay. Motion passes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, and we do have a resolution on that, okay? Reports from the chairman and the director.
Vice Chair, Commissioners, we're still really busy in the industrial side of things. Procter & Gamble, we're probably meeting with the next week to go over what roads are their priorities and then get a site plan that they're working on. They do a lot of things on consensus. They work big teams. And so once we get that, hopefully we'll get the site plan to you and get that going. So they'll be pretty excited about that. And the other projects, the Marriott, they're working on a lobby issue. That's why it hasn't broken ground. We are around an actual at-risk dirt moving permit, but something came up between Marriott and the owner on the lobby, and they're trying to work through that before they'll proceed. And our comment was, well, you can still move dirt. You know?
Is that the right there next to the Safeway? Is that
Yes,
that
yes,
side?
sir. Right back now. Uh-huh.
Glad you brought that up. I got a call from someone asking, and you may not or may not be able to affirm that somebody suggested that it was going to be turned into an extended stay.
The back side of it is an extended side is a regular.
Was
So,
that
so there's two. It's a dual brand.
was that brought up during the?
Mhm.
I must have forgotten.
Yeah, the elevations show it clearly with
Okay, I just
town
wanted to
the
make sure.
summertown
didn't
suites.
recall.
Yeah. So it's you know, I mean, it could all be the Fairfield Inn, but I think they're doing that to kind of meet the market and make sure it's. I think it's a smart thing to do. Yeah, and there's other proposals down south that we're looking at in areas that are potential for hotels way down south. You know, so we have projects we're working at the airport. With the ACA, we met them out there. We have Daycraft, of course, the military contractor. They're I think up to about 30 employees now. They're trying to get up to 60, potentially 100. We have eCube out there that's dismantling. If you haven't been out there, you see these big 737s. There's about 8 of them out there, and part of the engines are removed on a big slab, and they're all gone through, I guess, and they're shrink wrapped, and they go off to, you know, but it looks clean. It's not a junkyard by any means or anything. It's all done very professionally and clean, which is what we were concerned about. Make sure that's how it was done. And then AIM is the other one out there, and they're working on some areas that they're expanding to park airplanes. And then we had the fly-in this last weekend, and there was a lot of people. They sold out. I mean, I think I got there at 9:30, and they were pretty much. Jim Garrett told me they were already sold out of everything. There's lines of people, and so it went real well. There's a lot of people out there, and so we're seeing a lot of activity. The Burger King's assured me they're going to be here at the end of the year. I'm taking a lot of heat for that, and it's like the Holy Grail. So but I tell them it's coming. So I told them in the worst case I'll go get a food truck and fill it full of burgers from Burger King and park out there, maybe sell it.
It's just because Florence has one and we don't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's and then the houses have slowed down a little bit, but we're seeing Casablanca had their groundbreaking or their ribbon cutting actually, and we also they're preparing to submit the second set of plans for the second phase of it. So they're as far as they've told us, they're going to proceed building. So they'll keep going and add the others. Eventually, they'll have close to 400 units. And then we have other proposals that you heard the other night for rental and in different parts of the city. So those are going to the council the 10th, which is this Monday. So right after Easter.
I see the storage units across the road is moving quite rapidly too.
Oh, I know. We got to get them those containers aren't supposed to be there. So we got to tell them to put them somewhere else till they get that thing built. Have you heard anything from them? Those guys? No.
Oh, Line of Fire
Yeah.
Ken's
No, Line of Fire. No, Ken's is moving.
They've actually submitted into the process, and so they're moving through that review right now for the Line of Fire guys across the street. So
Yeah, they're not supposed to have those containers. We'll call them about those
That part, yeah.
containers. They're supposed.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about Ken's place. up
Oh
the
yeah,
road.
no, and he bought the. Yeah, that's moving forward. He's working on that house. He purchased that house.
Yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
it's been,
Yeah, so we've talked to him about.
that's cheap, that's cheaper than putting the water line in.
It was a smart move on his part. So he's a businessman. You're absolutely right. That's. I think unless you have some questions, I think it.
I noticed the NextEra project's moving into their next phase. When's the last time we got an update from them on what the landscape looks like? And
They had Commissioner Leonard. They sent us a photo about 2 weeks ago of the landscape. The photo looked really good. Obviously, he took a picture of it. So outside of that, sometimes there's some weeds. So they're working through the Story Solar, and they're doing it's actually a substation on the Saint Solar part. And then they're working on we're trying to get through some issues we're going through on permitting with them, and we're working on that. And then Vale Solar, which is Vale, Randolph, and Brittlebush, is actually in the process. They're submitting plans, but they have an at-risk grading permit there too. So we got to make sure they get all their permits. They tend to get ahead of us a little bit, and we have to go tell them they can't do that. So
Campfire was their contractor jumped the gun. Yeah, I'm talking about basically everything there east of the 87 south
Yes.
of Randolph looked pretty nasty.
there's a lot of activity there. They're doing a lot of work. So the inspectors are there every day. Dennis Gillespie, our building officials, out there and making sure everything that's being worked on has permits. And
The one south of the racetrack is moving right along too.
yes, yeah, Orsted, they are. Yeah, they are. They're actually starting on the substation first, where the Gentie is going. It just goes across the street into the Pinal Central, so it's really short. But they're starting on that portion of it
Yeah.
first, and then they'll continue on with the rest of it. So
Yeah,
Boy, they've got a lot of solar arrays up already.
yeah, they're fast when they start pounding those things in the ground. They move quickly. I guess they want to get them in as soon as possible for when the heat gets here. They need the power.
Yeah, they're
So-
everybody's about 2 years behind, and just in case anybody was curious, there was two bills that went to the governor today. One she signed and dealt with Gentie connections. The first had to do with public hearing portions on if the connection was less than like 3 or 4 poles. So she signed that one, and then the one that was if they owned the property and it was less than a mile, they wouldn't have had to gone through the ACC line sighting
line
process,
sighting, yeah.
but she vetoed that one. So
Okay.
some of what went on, I think, was in anticipation of what that happened, but in any event, they're pretty intensive. I just recall the concern the public made about all the landscaping problems, and that's gotten a little out of hand, so.
Yeah, our building official told us, because he gives me updates on I get emails through all that, so I keep on top of it, but he was working on over $250 million worth of utility scale solar right now, just stuff that's in the works, not the stuff that's already in. So it's really busy with that. It's trying to stay on top of it. We got plans everywhere, and different permits come in for different parts of it, so there's just massive amounts of plans that come in. So we're staying on top of it, though. Us and Stantec is helping us with that. Okay, that's all my report.
Okay. Commissioners, anybody have anything to say? Give me a motion.
I make a
Oh, call
motion
the
to
public.
Oh, call to the public.
Yeah,
I'm
just
sorry.
Yeah.
Anybody want to open the floor to the public? Anybody want to get up and speak? You guys don't want to say anything? This is 2 weeks in a row, or 2 nights in a row you came and sat here waiting for him. Oh, okay. So if I hurry, you'll get to go to dinner earlier. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you for coming.
Very much.
Okay.
I'll tell you, builder's perspective, it's getting a lot harsher too. So glad to hear you guys are still moving forward and turning through it.
Okay.
thank you.
God bless.
Bye.
Thank you.
Close the public session. Now give me the motion, Phil.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
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 Commissioners, thank you so much. At least it's shorter than the marathon one we had last time.
Hey, you like that, huh? See,
Of course, when I was sitting here, Coolidge was kind enough to send me a text that says I owe money for.
Oh, no.
Figured Phil hit a button just
I get those too, so don't feel. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Good. Just trying to stay on top of it. It's kind of crazy.
you're quite welcome, sir. Hey. As always. Sorry I didn't get your phone calls.
Oh, it's okay. No big deal. That's why I try to do a little canvassing. If I get a hold of people,
Well, you left a message and that's all it takes. I call back and I got Carol. Well, how come Carol doesn't come anymore? She's too busy working down there. I know. I know. I know. Well, she started coming because of the CV-19. Don't have to worry about that quite so much anymore, since it's a nothing.
Things happen, that's for sure. Too much water?
No, I got myself. I know it. I like it.
I miss that was my favorite
I know.
of all time. Oh, it was so good. I know some people will say, "Oh, Dr. Pepper's just as good." I'm like, Dr. Pepper was different.
Yeah, it's got a different taste.
Yeah,
But I like these because they're zero sugar.
that's nice.
And it's got cherry in it. Yeah, I know.
I'd be doing cherry or cherry vanilla every